Hi there, this is John, and welcome to another edition of Old Guy Career Change. I'm a 66-year-old software engineer looking at switching careers. If you're considering a career switch, regardless of your age, I hope I can help you by documenting my journey as it's happening. As with so many other things in life, you're not going through this alone. Let's get to it. This video is about my top 5 career regrets. I was thinking about how I got to be switching careers. I thought about the path from the first day of my last job to where I am today. After mulling that for a bit, I thought, why stop there? Because I'm one to go to extremes, I eventually thought about the path from my first day of kindergarten all the way to today. What if I hadn't taken a computer math class in high school? What if I had done better and not goofed around in junior high school? Everything could have been different. I zeroed in on just the actions since high school that were related to my career. That led to thinking about my highs and lows in my different jobs, which led to reflecting on my regrets. I was already noodling on what my next video should be, so I thought, these are career thoughts, and my channel is about my career, so can I put myself out there this much? Can I be that brave? Then I thought, I have only like 32 channel subscribers and most of them are asleep half the time anyway. So why the hell not? There's a set of career decisions and behaviors that put me or kept me on a path that led to today. So I want to talk about my top 5 career regrets. And first off, I want to be clear on the difference between a mistake and a regret. A mistake is something you can recover from without too much trouble or has no lasting impact. A regret is a large mistake that changes your life's trajectory. Getting drunk at the office holiday party and then being escorted out by the police might be a regret. A regret is an explosion in your career. It's a gigantic missed opportunity, a career-altering blunder, very bad behavior that diverts your career for a long time. Some people go through life never regretting anything. What's done is done and you can't change the past. But I prefer to evaluate what's happened as a way to not let it happen again. Now, I want to be clear, this video is about career regrets, not personal regrets. Those are way too hot for me to go share on YouTube. For some context, my career started in 1977. For over 18 years, I worked for a very large computer manufacturer named Digital Equipment Corporation. It was also called DEC, D-E-C. For a long period of time, it was second only to IBM. I think it maxed out at about 125,000, maybe 127,000 employees worldwide. It no longer exists. Kids, reflect on this the next time you read about a company that's on top of the world. After DEC, I worked for startups and smaller companies. If you recognize any of my regrets, you should think now about changing your ways. I'll do this as a countdown. Regret number 5, playing office politics. Monitoring what's happening in your company is a survival tactic, and that's fine. I'm not referring to that. Keeping your ear to the ground, reading the tea leaves, whatever you want to call it. I'm referring to acting in ways that further your interests, maybe in detriment to someone else's interests. I expended too much energy on office politics in my first 20 years. By this I mean I spent any energy on it. The net benefit of all that energy spent is at most 0. I wanted to get choice assignments, get promoted, be seen as someone's buddy, whatever. All that maneuvering maybe helped in some ways, but I never considered their cost. I should have focused on just doing my job to the best of my ability and letting the chips fall where they may. That would have required less energy out of me and better positioned me for future jobs. I wouldn't have been seen by some people as acting excessively in my own self-interest. And as a result, they would have had a higher opinion of my motives. If you're obsessed with how to get ahead in your company, stop. Just do your job. If you don't get what you deserve, leave your job, leave your company. It's just a job. Regret number 4 is dismissing management as easy, if not a complete waste of time. My college was very techy and very nerdy. I attended Worcester Polytechnic Institute in Worcester, Massachusetts from 1975 to 77. I dropped out, and then a few years later I completed my undergraduate degree at Boston University. In that environment and in my first job and amongst the people I hung with from the mid-1970s to the early 1990s, management was what you did if you had a smooth brain. Anyone who took management or business administration courses, at least back then, was a loser. My crowd was in love with everything about Digital Equipment Corporation. The DEC System 10, DEC System 20, PDP-11s, PDP-8s, basically anything that had DEC's name on it. In our view, engineering and programming was close to godliness, and DEC was a great company. I worked for DEC from 1978 to 1992. It was my misfortune that the first company I worked for was A, a company I loved, B, a company that let engineers run everything, and C, a company that was very successful because it was in the right place at the right time with the right products. Engineers were royalty there, and they ran the company. I was proud of everything I worked on. Engineers got promoted into managers, and that worked out well, sort of, kind of, so of course it wasn't possible that there might be a better way of running things. Management was easy. Just be smart and tell people what to do. What else was there to it? Here's the reality. It's easy to be a bad or mediocre manager. It's hard to be a good manager. It's super hard to be a great manager. My beliefs harmed my career. I didn't seriously start to respect management, to take the profession of management seriously until the early 2000s. I didn't work with my managers as effectively as I could have. I didn't manage my teams when I had management positions as well as I could have. I couldn't contribute to planning as much as I could have or as well as I could have. My first forays into management ranged from so-so to good. And the times that I was a good manager, and that happened a couple of times, were really basically due to dumb luck. Here's my advice. Take a couple of management or business courses in college. Read management and leadership blogs, subscribe to newsletters, etc. Realize that management is not easy. Regret number 3 is going into management. I didn't respect management, so why would I regret going into management? My management positions in my career have ranged from managing small 3-person teams to managing 55-person engineering divisions. I've held director and VP of engineering titles. I regret going into management because when I did it well, it was really from dumb luck. I managed by the seat of my pants and my own intuition. I treated others as I would want to be treated. I valued transparency, and I always tried to move my team forward and to increase their velocity, and all of that was admirable and right on. But I wasn't armed with the foundational knowledge that could have helped me navigate situations so much better. It's like not taking medicine seriously and then stepping up to remove someone's appendix. Unless I took management seriously, I should have remained in purely technical jobs and advanced along the pure technical ladder and excelled at pure technical work. Advice: if you want to go into management at some point, great, fantastic, wonderful. Start learning about it now. Read about it, learn about it, and then read some more. There's a lot more to managing than just learning how your current employer does things and then doing that. Regret number 2 is not being as tolerant as I should have from 1980 through the late 1990s. I had firm views on many topics associated with my work. When I had a disagreement, I would usually run right over the other person. More often than not, when they wanted to do something differently than I did, I concluded they suffered from a gross genetic defect. If they kept pushing, I dug my heels in and fought back in any way I could. My advice here is simple. Always assume mistake or misunderstanding instead of malevolence or stupidity. Always listen and consider the other party's position. Consider that they may be right and you may be wrong, or you may both be about equal. 10% of decisions are wrong, 10% of decisions are right, and the other 80% is in the grand middle area. Your career goal, in case you don't know, is not to grind your opponent into dust. It's to be productive and move your company or field or discipline forward into the future. Regret number 1, my big regret, is burning bridges. I sometimes, in fact, went out of my way to burn bridges. Sometimes I didn't just burn the bridge, I strapped C4 to the pylons and then leveled it. In life and in my career, I've always had high standards, and I hold people to them. And usually that's great, and it's how I feel like living, and I'm glad and I'm happy I do it. But there's a distinction between the standards that you hold people to and then what you do when they don't measure up to them. Sometimes I've taken it to an extreme and very public set of actions. From my career's start through the early 2000s, I didn't just write someone off when they didn't meet up to my standards. I would sometimes go out of my way to directly or indirectly tell them that they were a rotten weasel. And I did it publicly. And then sometimes I went into flamethrower mode. I have worked for people and companies who I absolutely torched on my way out the door. In one case, I torched them while I was still employed there. All of this behavior gave me a false sense of sticking it to them, a false sense of justice. They screwed me or someone I liked, or they committed a terrific blunder that screwed my project, and so now they were going to be on the receiving end. I was striking a blow for something. I don't know what. I'm not sure I knew then, and I sure don't know now. Newsflash, all of that was very bad and immature reasoning. The tech world, like any industry, can be a small place. You can encounter someone you previously worked with and hoped that you would never see again. They might now, in fact, be in a position to give you grief. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that I was wrong in thinking poorly of some people. To my best memory, every time I thought someone was a bozo, they deserved it. But what I am saying that my public bridge burning had no lasting effect. I don't think it achieved what I thought it did, and I'm sure it hurt my career. In fact, I know of at least 2 cases where it did hurt my career. Here's my advice. You think poorly of someone, that's fine, but you should just put distance between you and them. You should assume that if you feel this way, and you're right, others probably have the same opinion. And if that's the case, karma will eventually catch up to them. And remember that living well is the best revenge, and take the high road. So, these are my top 5 career regrets. Please avoid them if you can. Till next time, take care. Small channels like mine live and die by the number of likes. So if you like this video, please click the like button. Click the subscribe button to hear about future videos. Thank you for watching. See you next time.